The Resilience Revolution: Building Legacy Through Life Setbacks. Have you ever noticed how we celebrate the summit, but rarely discuss the climb? The breathtaking view from the top makes for a better Instagram post than the bruised knees and ragged breath of the journey upward. We're obsessed with success stories, but allergic to the messy middle where true transformation happens. I recently had the privilege of interviewing Tarsha Gale, the remarkable executive director of Brilliant Detroit, whose wisdom on resilience and legacy building left me profoundly moved. This woman isn't just running an organization, she's orchestrating a revolution in how communities support their most vulnerable members. Her insights illuminate a path forward for those of us who've grown weary of wearing the superwoman cape, especially Black women who've spent decades in survival mode. What Tarsha understands, perhaps better than most, is that our setbacks aren't detours from our purpose. They're essential parts of the journey itself. The moments that break us are often the very ones that make us. The fall isn't failure, she shared during our conversation. It's just part of the climb. Those words hit me right in the chest because how many of us have internalized the belief that stumbling means we're somehow deficient, that needing to rest means we're not strong enough, that asking for help means we're inadequate. The truth Tarsha Gale embodies through her work is revolutionary in its simplicity. Resilience isn't about never falling, it's about how we rise afterward. It's about the courage to begin again and again and again. Through her leadership at Brilliant Detroit, Tarsha has transformed how communities support children and families. But what struck me most wasn't just the impressive statistics, serving over 26,000 children and caregivers across 24 neighborhoods, but the philosophy behind her approach. She didn't build this legacy by pretending the journey was easy. She built it by acknowledging every obstacle, every setback, and choosing to continue anyway. When systemic barriers threatened to block families' access to education and wellness resources, she didn't throw up her hands in defeat. She got creative. She expanded foster care and adoption programs. She secured new funding streams. She built community partnerships and strengthened organizational infrastructure. This is what real strength looks like. Not the glossy, filtered version we're sold, but the messy, complicated truth of showing up day after day, especially when it's hard, especially when no one's applauding, especially when you're wondering if any of it even matters. And isn't that what we're all searching for? Not just success, but significance. Not just achievement, but meaning. Not just a life well documented, but a life well lived. When I asked Tarsha about the moments that tested her resolve, she didn't shy away from the truth. She spoke of systemic barriers that seemed insurmountable, of days when the weight of responsibility felt crushing. But then she said something I'll never forget. The legacy we're building isn't just in the programs we create, it's in showing our children what perseverance looks like in real time. That's the thing about legacy. It's built in small, consistent steps, not grand gestures. It's created in the moments when no one's watching, when the applause is faded, when the motivation has waned, but you show up anyway. I'm reminded of another powerful voice in this space, Tarsha Wiggins, who created Discipline Building Monday on Instagram. Every week, she reminds her community that discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency, about checking in with yourself regularly and recommitting to growth, even when, especially when, you've fallen short. I am an open book, Wiggins often says, modeling the vulnerability that true strength requires. By sharing both victories and setbacks, she's created a space where others feel permission to be equally honest about their journeys. Her approach is particularly powerful for those navigating self doubt or lacking consistency in pursuing personal and professional goals. Through her platform, she's built a supportive online community where vulnerability fuels collective progress among entrepreneurs and leaders navigating adversity together. This transparency is revolutionary, particularly for Black women who've been conditioned to keep our struggles private, to maintain the facade of having it all together, even when we're falling apart inside, to smile through pain, to power through exhaustion, to be strong when strength feels impossible. But what if we reimagine strength altogether? What if, instead of seeing our setbacks as failures, we recognize them as the very experiences that deepen our capacity for empathy, for innovation, for authentic leadership? The data supports this perspective. Research consistently shows that resilience, the ability to adapt and grow through adversity, is a stronger predictor of long term success than initial talent or privilege. And resilience isn't innate, it's cultivated through exactly the kind of setbacks we're so desperate to avoid. I see this truth reflected in the Be Well 2025 scholarship initiative, which recognizes students who prioritize mental wellness alongside academic achievement. The program, promoted by Tasha through her warm, relatable Instagram presence, sends a powerful message. Seeking help isn't weakness, it's strength. You still got time. Time for what? To apply. Tasha reminds her followers, her voice carrying the encouraging tone of someone who understands both urgency and grace. For many applicants, particularly those from marginalized communities, the journey through higher education involves navigating not just academic challenges, but financial strain and emotional burdens. The scholarship provides tangible support while affirming that mental health matters, that you matter, even when society suggests otherwise. This is the kind of leadership our communities need, leadership that acknowledges struggle while pointing toward possibility. Leadership that says, yes, this is hard and you can do hard things. Tarsha Gale exemplifies this approach at Brilliant Detroit. With dual master's degrees in counseling, psychology, and human development, she brings both professional expertise and personal commitment to her work. Under her guidance, the organization has expanded foster care and adoption programs, secured new funding streams, built community partnerships, and strengthened organizational infrastructure. But these accomplishments didn't happen overnight. They were built through consistent effort, through learning from missteps, through refusing to let setbacks become permanent roadblocks. This is what building legacy looks like in real time. It's showing up for the children in your community, even when resources are scarce. It's creating pathways for family success, even when systems seem designed for failure. It's influencing national efforts through the Brilliant Cities initiative because you refuse to believe that local impact was enough. When I reflect on Tarsha Gale's journey, I'm reminded that our greatest contributions often emerge from our deepest challenges. The very experiences that test us can become the foundation for work that transforms lives if we're willing to stay the course. This truth applies whether you're leading an organization, raising a family, building a business, or simply trying to create a life that reflects your values. Your journey is uniquely yours, shaped by both successes and failures, aha moments and disappointments. The question isn't whether you'll face setbacks. You will. The question is what you'll do with them. Will you allow disappointment to become an excuse for abandoning your path? Or will you use it as a stepping stone toward fulfilling your potential? Will you let betrayal harden your heart, or will you allow it to deepen your capacity for authentic connection? Will you permit grief or depression to define your story, or will you integrate these experiences into a narrative of growth and resilience? These aren't easy questions. There are days when getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain, when continuing seems impossible, when the weight of expectation, both external and internal, threatens to crush your spirit. I think of the women in Tarsha Wiggins' online community, entrepreneurs and leaders navigating adversity together, finding strength in shared vulnerability. They're not pretending the journey is easy. They're acknowledging its difficulty while refusing to be defined by it. This is what the soft girl era is truly about. Not abandoning ambition, but releasing the exhausting pretense that strength means never struggling. It's about embracing the full spectrum of our humanity, including the parts that need rest, support, and compassion. For high achieving Black women who've spent years in survival mode, leading teams, raising families, holding down households, carrying communities, this shift from constantly grinding to finally grounding isn't just refreshing, it's revolutionary. It's saying, I deserve peace, not just productivity. I deserve joy, not just achievement. I deserve to prioritize myself, not just others. I deserve to be soft in a world that taught me survival. When Tarsha Gale speaks about building legacy through perseverance, she's not just talking about professional accomplishments. She's talking about modeling for our children, our communities, and ourselves what it looks like to honor both our ambitions and our humanity. So here's my challenge to you today: stop waiting for permission to be both ambitious and human. Stop apologizing for your setbacks and start recognizing them as the very experiences that make your contribution unique. Stop believing the lie that strength means never struggling. Instead, embrace the revolutionary power of resilience. Fall if you must, rest when you need to, but always, always rise again, because somewhere someone is watching you navigate your setbacks. Someone is learning from how you handle disappointment. Someone is drawing courage from your refusal to give up. Your legacy isn't just what you accomplish, it's how you persevere when accomplishment seems impossible. And in a world obsessed with overnight success and picture perfect journeys, your messy, complicated, resilient path forward might be exactly the revolution someone else needs to see. The climb continues, but with each step, however small, however imperfect, you're not just reaching your own summit, you're blazing a trail for others to follow. That's not just success, that's significance. That's not just achievement, that's legacy. That's not just a life, that's a revolution.